Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Namita Purohit and I am very excited today to have a very special and dear guest with me, Swati Jain, all the way from Atlanta. We're doing this as a student spotlight. So she's been a student of the East Coast Certification School. She got certified last July of 2022. She's based out of Atlanta. She's a seasoned product management executive, and she's been working in that space and in leadership and business coaching for the last 20 years. And she is here with us to share her experiences about the East Coast certification program and how that is helping her in setting up her own practice and going ahead as a coach, and also in her workplace. So, without further delay, let's have Swati Jain here with us.
Hi,
Hello.
Namita. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Thank you so much for being here. We were trying to do this last week when you were in India, but couldn't
That's
match
right.
all of that. And I'm so grateful to you for making the time and agreeing to share about whatever you want to share about today with my audience. Thank you
It's
so
good
much.
to be here, and it's my honor.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about what you do
What I do
as
professionally or as a coach?
professionally as a product management executive and a business
Sure.
and leadership coach. You're already doing that. Yes.
Right. Really, I'm a builder at heart. So what I do in my profession is really help organizations build solutions through technology. Most of my career has been in roles sitting as a bridge between engineering and business, and building solutions, building technology, building product to enable business growth. So that's what I do as a corporate professional. I also help startups. I help advise startups in their journey, in their early journey to get off the ground. And now I'm also coaching leaders and professionals.
Nice. So you have an engineering background and you have a business background.
That's correct. Yes, I have my bachelor's in computer science and master's in business.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. So why did you choose? You already had such a rich experience of, 20 years and you already have so many great skills that you've acquired along the way. Why did you still choose to go for a coach certification program?
So it really came. It started as curiosity, really, so to speak. For me, coaching was not the starting point, right? For me, the starting point was the curiosity of getting to know myself, right? Getting to the depths of understanding who I am, how I um, just how I think, how I function, why I do what I do. Um, what are my patterns? Where do they come from? How do I break those patterns that are not serving me? So, a lot of it started from a journey of self discovery. And as I started to explore more about me, um, I started to come across your videos, Namita. And the more I heard your videos, the more I realized that my journey of self discovery would be incomplete without getting to that next level of depth, getting to that next level of understanding the whole psychophysical nature of my being. So it really started as a passion and pursuit to get to know myself. And as I started to get into the coaching, started to get to know myself, it just made more sense to start helping others in that pursuit as well.
Thank you. So it was more about you discovering yourself, understanding your own patterns, and seeing what drives you and what doesn't drive you, and
That's
just
right.
going deeper in that, and then using that journey of working on yourself, exploring yourself, and using that and serving others. That's beautiful because the counselor first counsel themselves, the coach first
Correct.
coach themselves. So that's a very beautiful way to take it. Yes, you were saying something.
No.
Okay. And it's kind of similar to what you do for your companies and, the other people that you coach. I mean, the companies that you coach, the startups that you coach. it's also about them seeing their patterns. It's about them exploring who they are, what they stand for, and then coaching them from that standpoint. So it's about figuring out a blueprint, and then taking that ahead and serving everyone in their growth. So yeah, thank you. So why did you specifically choose the East Coast certification program? I mean, there are many certification programs out there. So why did you choose the East Coach certification program with me?
Yeah. So, like I said, as I started to come across your videos, I realized there was a depth of knowledge and wisdom, um, just in your approach, that I felt was missing in most life coaching certifications, which, you know, um, focused more on the logical aspects of things, focused more on the left brain aspect of things. Um, but it wasn't enough for me, right? I felt like again, it was a quest to go deeper. And as I started to learn about your program, realizing that you bring in elements of Ayurveda to kind of bring that psychophysical aspect together. You bring as elements of astrology, even though it's touching on it lightly, but understanding the blueprint of who we are, getting into the depths of mastering our energy centers. And I'm also a Reiki master. By the way, I became a Reiki master around 6 years ago, so I understood the energy centers really well. It's just the more I started to explore your course, both from a alternate sciences standpoint, and plus bringing in aspects of Vedic knowledge and wisdom together into it, and of course also having a very logical approach of working with understanding our belief systems, understanding our patterns, how do you reframe those. I felt as a learner, it catered to a more holistic aspect of things, depths of human psyche, that I found more value towards. So that's really what led me to East Coach certification specifically.
Thank you, and thank you for making that choice. It was our honor to also serve you as a team. Thank you. And you also brought in a lot of your own experience and a lot of a lot of value in all the coaching and all the group calls that we would have. So it was nice to have you in the program. All of us benefited. Thank you.
Well, it was an honor for me too, especially, learning this, not just from you, but rest of the cohort. I definitely made some good friends, fostered some good friendships. We are still in touch. I know who to call if I'm kind of struggling with coaching someone, and, it's like, okay, what do I do with this? What's the right way to approach? So, I have fostered not just knowledge that is long lasting, but also friendships that are long lasting. And I really cherish those as part of this program. So thank you for bringing this.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing about that aspect as well, because we try hard that you form your cohort and you have your relationships,
Right.
because then you know exactly what you're doing. You can support each other and make friendships for life. That's what we try to do at Ease. It's Ease Family. Yes. Now, how have these? So what I'm hearing is that the holistic approach is what attracted you, and
Right.
the whole emphasis on is not just about changing how we think. The whole logical aspect of it, but there is this whole holistic system, because if you've been around in the industry for like 20 years plus, you've already done a lot of change how you think stuff, to grow in your career. You got to work on your inner stuff, but
Right.
the holistic stuff helps, because sometimes it's at the physical level or the energetic level that we kind of remain stuck in some old patterns, and even those need to be released and those need to be healed, and therefore that's how we can take it forward. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, how has this whole experience of becoming a certified coach with Ease? Because now I see you have re-empowered, and that's a very interesting choice of a name, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But how is whatever you learned in the coaching program in the 6 months that we were together, uh, how has that helped you or not helped you in your coaching skills, like in whatever coaching that you're doing, even if it's for leadership and business coaching, or it's your re-empowered where you're doing your one-on-one coaching?
Yeah, sure. So, I would say how it has helped me first and foremost before helping others, right? Um, it has helped me get in touch with um, my inner compassion for myself and for others. I think that's been the most significant shift for me as an individual and even as a coach and also as a leader, right? It allowed me to become more compassionate towards myself. It allowed me to become more compassionate towards others. So, how that manifests into the work that I do um, is, when I'm working with business leaders, when I'm working with team members, I recognize that a lot of things people do is subconscious, right? I recognize that now as a result of the training that I went through in this certification. So it gives me the ability to really not follow that instinct, that human instinct to right away start judging people, right? It's the shift of trying to understand what is it that's happening under the surface. And then from there, how can I bring these individuals over some of their own subconscious limitations, biases, fears, whatever those might be. And similarly, in a coaching capacity too, um, sometimes you do hit this wall when you're coaching someone and nothing is working. But once again, if you can stay compassionate with yourself, if you can stay compassionate with the people you're coaching, and you continue to apply different techniques, that's another good thing about each coach certification. It's not just one approach, right? It gives so many different tools um, to try and approach a problem from different perspectives. If one approach is not working, I feel like I have enough tools in my tool belt now where if one approach is not working, I can tap into a different approach. So it's combination of compassion and of course, feeling that I am empowered with a lot of tools at this point to help people overcome some of their own limitations, their own subconscious biases, um, life patterns, and get more in touch with themselves.
Thank you. Thank you. So you draw, it starts with compassion. That's where you start with. And that gives you the patience to explore what, different aspects with your client and, try out different tools. It helps you be curious. It helps you be non-judgmental, and it helps you just, serve them in your best capacity. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. A lot of questions in my mind. How much, how much of, when you're working with leaders and you're when even in your one-on-one coaching space, I understand you're working with senior management and middle management people, and also when you're doing your consulting or in the workplace, you're dealing with a lot of different leaders, and who are called on to make a lot of different decisions. And in this VUCA world that we live in, there's so much happening, so much uncertainty, so much volatility. It can be pretty crazy making even for someone who's at that leadership position, but they still need to command that space. I mean, and do what they need to do. So, how much of you think that how much of this East Coast certification and the skills that you have learned here, and also your own experiences, because the East Coach program also helps you integrate all of your own experiences from the last so many years. How much of coaching, is like, how does coaching help these people in those positions?
So, I would say the most useful tool in the coaching has been um, to identify the beliefs that are under the surface of everything that they do, how they think, how they function, what they choose to do, how they operate, right? So for me, it normally starts with um, identifying the belief system, right?
Mhm.
Especially the irrational beliefs. I mean, I can share so many examples of those aha moments once we start to go into the depths of events and what beliefs are at play and then reframing those beliefs. So, how it specifically helps um, professionals, leaders, executives is to get in touch with their patterns, to get in touch with their subconscious side, to get in touch with their beliefs, become aware of those, because a lot of times they're not even aware that these are at play.
Mhm.
Um, and then from there, as being intelligent beings, I mean, they're in leadership positions, right? So they're rational people. From there, showing the strength to challenge those beliefs and reframe those beliefs. And from there, really finding this new reframed approach, this new rational way of thinking that
Mhm.
inspires them to take different actions, right? It's not just a change in the moment, but they normally walk away with action items that they can immediately apply in their work, at their work, in their personal life. um, so it's not just about pattern recognition and reframing beliefs, but the most powerful thing coming out of these sessions is that there is instant ability to take meaningful action to change the situation that they're dealing with.
Mhm. Nice. So what you like is that you can not just identify things, but at the end of a session, they have an instant action item where they can immediately start practicing it without great difficulty in a proper tool framework, and they can start experiencing immediate results with that. And
Absolutely.
that's what you see. Right, right. Thank you for sharing that. Tell me a little bit about not just me. I mean, tell everyone, all of us here. We're excited. A little bit about your new venture with you set up your own practice, which is called as Reempowered. And just taking a minute here, all those who are watching can wherever you're watching in the description, you can see Swati's bio, and you can also see a link to her website and her coaching practice and everything that she's doing with that. So yes, tell me a little bit about your new venture, which is Reempowered,
Yes.
and let's begin with the choice of the name, if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. I feel so passionate about the name that I chose. So between the work that I've done prior to East Coach certification, and of course the profound wisdom and tools and awareness that the East Coach certification brought my way, um, it gave me the ability to show up for mostly any situation in my life personally from a place of this inner power, inner confidence, this deep inner confidence and power. And it's not power um, in terms of dominating people, right? It's empower in terms of love and compassion, and still being able to use lead with your values to solve a situation, to solve any situation, to handle any situation. So I felt after the certification, I not only felt a profound shift within, there was this deep sense of groundedness, no matter what situation I was walking into. I mean, I have been yelled at by, uh, you know, CEOs in the company, and people would still come and ask me, how did you remain so calm? And the old version of me would not have reacted that way, right? So I started to notice shifts in myself, plus others started to notice shifts in myself, or in me. uh, they started reaching out for, how are you doing this, right? How do you have it all together? How do you show up in these meetings and still be so calm and composed, and still be able to command the room, right? So really the only word that made sense at that point was, it's realizing the power was always in me. It's not like anybody came and took it, or anybody now came and gave it to me. It's realizing that through the work that I've done over multiple years now, I was able to tap into this inner power and claim it again, to use it towards my just everything, my relationships, my work, and how I was experiencing life. So when I started thinking about what I wanted to call my coaching, it was all about, look, the power is within you, and it's time to get re-empowered again, right? It's time to tap into it, tap into your inner wisdom, tap into your power, and get in touch with the resources that are provided from the get go to all of us, right? Let's tap into those again. Let's get in touch with those again and start experiencing life from a place of this strength, resilience, no matter what the situation, so that it's less about what happens to you. It really starts to become more about how you choose to deal with it.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So it's like the soul is already perfect, it's already complete. And re-empowered, it's not that the soul needs empowerment, it's just about connecting to who you truly are.
Connect into it. Yes.
Yes. Nice. Thank you for sharing. So how's it going? Who are your clients, and any who do you serve? Who do you serve with re-empowered?
Right. So, my focus is specifically professionals, mostly because, and I'm not trying to isolate who or who not, but um, part of my mission is helping professionals, again, because I've grown, I've matured in corporate cultures. I know how difficult these cultures can be sometimes. We've all had experiences with difficult leaders. We've all had experiences with narcissists, right? Like all of that. So I feel really passionate about serving professionals to start with, because I feel if you can show up to work with this deep inner resilience and a sense of inner power, then you contribute towards a better experience for yourself and anybody who interacts with you at work, and also your own family. And that further perpetuates, right? It's a cycle. So, who I serve are specifically professionals, specifically management professionals, early managers, mid level managers, senior managers, specifically because, they touch so many lives on a daily basis, right? Not just in how they are making decisions for the company that'll have long lasting impact on the growth of the company, but also how they're making an impact on the teams that they lead. So that's the specific group that I focus on in my coaching.
And maybe I missed it, but is it only men or only women, or is it both?
No, it's both. I have clients, men and women, and on the surface, we're all humans, right? We just show it differently as men versus women. But the coaching is all about getting in better touch with yourself and tapping into your inner power, getting over your patterns and beliefs that are no longer serving you. And I think men and women can use it. So I'm serving both men and women right now.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So, any interesting client stories of note that you would be able to share without breaking confidentiality? Any about your own journey of being a coach at that first coaching appointment, or something, anything interesting that you would want us to know?
Yeah, maybe I'll kind of share. I'll share an experience with someone I coached again. A senior professional, senior leader I coached, who I knew from my consulting days and had reached out to me to get some professional advice. This person had been in transition and jobs transition, had taken a 6 months break and had reached out to kind of consult on, just get my friendly advice and input on um, some choice, some decision that she was trying to make. And interestingly, as we got into the conversation, I just asked, as a coach, right? That instinct kicked in, and I, as a friendly gesture, I just asked, well, why do you want to do this? And that one question was like a game changer for her, right? She realized that she was making on the path of making that choice. She didn't have an answer, first of all. And she was on the path of making that choice because that's what she was trained to believe was the way to live life, right? It's the templates that are handed over to us, it's the stories that are handed over to us, right? It's this box that society tells you're supposed to kind of unpack eventually in your life. So That led to coaching engagement. We worked together for 3 months, had some phenomenal conversations. She was able to break a lot of patterns that were really rooted in her childhood experiences. And coming out of the engagement, she went on a very different path than what she was about to take 3 months prior to that, and just felt much more clarity in what she was doing. She had much more clarity on why she was doing it, right? And the biggest shift for her was to let go of some baggage that she was carrying from her childhood, first of all, and then realizing that she has a choice to live differently, to make choices that were not necessarily um, handed down to her, right?
Mhm.
From her cultural beliefs, from her family beliefs, things like that. So she was able to shift to a place of having more agency, this power of choice on what she chooses to do with her professional life moving on. And it's a story that I feel very deeply about, because she was really my first full coaching client. I got to explore the full depths of the tools that I had learned from Ease Coaching certification. And the shift that she was able to make from the first conversation we had to where she is now has been, quite frankly, a remarkable and inspiring journey, even for me when I look at her.
Nice. And it's nice to have such a nice first coaching engagement.
Right.
Yeah, so it's truly re-empowered. The way I visualized what you were saying is like she had like parts of her personality and her aspirations chipped away because of the
Yes.
templates that she believed in, or the stories that she believed in, or what she felt, or and how probably she uh, shrunk herself in the face of the different experiences that life throws us. But then through your coaching, all those parts and pieces came back up again, and then she was re-empowered, and there
Right.
she is living a different life. It's also I also see this pattern that a lot of people want to become coaches. I see that because we have a full-fledged one-on-one coaching, group coaching, product line as well, and then we also have coach certification. I see many people, they actually come to us because they want to get coached. And then they see there's a coach certification program. And then they abandon that whole want to get coached. And then they're like, "Nee, I'll become a coach." And I like always wondering, no, they're two different programs, you
Correct.
put different programs all together. How can you switch from one to the other? But I somehow feel that people, the culture of investing in your own growth, investing in your own self, uh, needs to be promoted, needs to be developed, needs to become mainstream. Just like exercise, gymming
Absolutely.
is mainstream. Even this culture of investing in your own growth needs to be mainstream because the story, this beautiful story that you're sharing with me, that hadn't, if you didn't ask her that question, why are you doing this, and if she didn't sign up for coaching with you, uh, her life would have been different and unfulfilled and probably not very happy. But
Yeah.
just because, yes,
She would have just gone through the same experiences, right? Because it's like most of us end up living our life in this autopilot mode, not making
yes,
conscious choices, but doing things for the sake of doing things because we've been told that's what you're supposed to do. It's that autopilot mode, right? And my focus is, how do I move you from this autopilot mode to a mode of choice, a conscious choice, right?
yes,
And you're absolutely right. Most people think and believe that their learning journey ends once they graduate from either school or high school or a graduate program. And I always tell people, look, that just gets you in the door with a job, right? And maybe it's going to sustain you for 5 years, right? And now your challenges are going to start to change. Plus, you're going to add your dimensions are going to evolve too. You're no longer just a worker. Your chances are you're going to eventually be a spouse to someone, a parent to kids. You're going to have more dimensions of relationships in your life. So, what are you doing to constantly train and evolve yourself so that you can show up in a manner that caters to the current demands of your life, right? And most people forget that. And it's the same thing for professional track. What got you in the door to do a job was your academic background, but to grow the corporate ladder, you have to invest in different kind of skills that academic program does not teach you, right? So my own journey has been filled with series of coaches,
Hmm.
different kinds of coaches. I've had executive coaches, I've had speech coaches, I've had public speaking coaches. I had a different coach when I became a first time manager. I had a different coach when I became an executive, right? I've had a different life coach in the past as well. So there was a lot of coaching that made me the person that I became, um, leading me up to East coaching certification, um, and I'm sure there's going to be more coaches. The journey is not over; it's ongoing.
Yeah, well said. Thank you for sharing that because, yeah, we all need to have this mindset that for every next step, I need help, I need guidance, and I need to
Correct.
invest in myself. And the journey is not over. And the more we learn, the more we grow, and the more we enjoy
Absolutely.
living to our full empowered selves. And it's important to experience that joy and experience that full potential without feeling worried, while having good emotional regulation, feeling good,
Right.
and having happy relationships around. And a lot of us discount, we tend to focus, and I see people are ready to invest in career growth things like,
Yeah.
getting a certification here, especially in tech, right? They'll work on this certification, that certification, and things like that, but not in life. And
Not
as
in
you very rightly said, at every stage, the demands on us are different at every stage of our life. Because even if you, like, say, you become a parent, and I heard this very interesting thing when I was in college. uh, we were having an orientation to prepare us for college. In Mumbai, colleges, like as soon as you're done with 10th grade. So the teacher who was doing the orientation for us, he said, please be kind to your parents. They are the parents of a 15-year-old for the first time. When you're
right.
16, they are the parents of a 16-year-old for the
For
first
the
time.
first
They
time.
don't,
No.
they don't know it. They're
Absolutely.
figuring it out as you are figuring your own, life out.
Absolutely. And this reminds me, I literally had this conversation with my 14-year-old yesterday, right? Where, of course, she's a teenager, so it's not easy raising a teenager. And even though I have another teenager who's in college now, and you think as a parent, okay, you figured it out, but she's very different. My younger one's personality is polar opposite from my older one's, and the struggles I had as a parent with my older one are different from what I have to do as a parent with my younger one. And this is literally what I told her yesterday. We were having a heart to heart, and I'm like, look, this is my first time raising you specifically as a 14-year-old. I'm going to make some mistakes, right? So give me some benefit of doubt. And when I make some mistakes, just tell me. Let's solve it together. Let's be partners in this so I can be a better mom to you. And um, together, right, we can help you be successful through your high school. So you're absolutely right. I think there are so many firsts we don't realize, right? When we are married for the first time, when we are 40 for the first time, when we're a manager for the first time, when we're a parent for the first time, and year after year, parent to different age stages, we don't realize we're all going through it first time. And same way, my daughter is experiencing me differently as a mother of a 14-year-old versus a mother of a 10-year-old, right? So it's all about um, accepting that you may be out of your depths and collaborating together.
Yes, and getting the help that you need. I have three coaches working on me right now as we speak.
Oh, a coach definitely needs a coach. I agree.
Yeah, because it's like every time I'm doing something new, and like, somebody help me, guide
Yeah,
me, tell me the steps. I can't
yeah.
keep figuring figuring out myself. Help
I
me
did
out.
the same when I started this. When I started this coaching journey, I reached out and I'm like, look, I need an accountability coach, and I need a coach to tell me how I message this, brand this. So I have different coaches as well, and I couldn't have done it. I'm a very driven person, so maybe I could have kept going, but at least having the coaches by my side, it gives me this level of confidence. And there are days when you have doubts, there are days when you're not feeling 100%, and you have a support system to lean on.
Yeah, and you want to optimize, they've already gone through that whole journey. They know they're experts. And instead of us figuring things out, might as well invest in an expert.
I
And
agree.
I call it borrow a brain.
Yes, why make it 10 times more difficult, right? When you have an easy way.
Yeah, and time is short. Can't do everything.
I
Just
agree.
can't do everything. But yeah, thank you so much, Swati, for being here. I'm very grateful to you, and I'm sure all the audience that has tuned in is has had a good time and listening to your story and uh, how you express yourself with so much clarity. And it's very nice. It's very enriching, and there's so much that I learned from this conversation myself. So thank you so much for being here, and hope we do some more things together in the
Yes, looking
future.
forward to it. My pleasure again. Thank you for having me, Namita.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, we just had a very interesting conversation with Swati Jain, and there were so many beautiful things that she shared, right from her choice to why did she choose to get a certification as a coach, why did she choose the East Coast certification program, and the whole holistic nature of the program, the spiritual depth, and the various different tools, also how that is informing her journey as a business and leadership coach and a product management executive, and her own venture of Reempowered, and the beautiful client stories, some of them that she shared, and also her own insights from her life and spirituality. Thank you all so much for being here. This is Student Spotlight. This is part of my promotions for the East Coast Certification Program Open Enrollment. That's from September 12th to September 19th. And I invite you all for a free 5-day training on Jumpstart Your Coaching Career. And I am putting the link in over here for all of you. So those of you who are interested in following in Swati Jain's path, you could join this free 5-day training that's called Jumpstart Your Coaching Career. It's a free 5-day training, September 12th to 16th, and I hope to see you there. And if you missed the link in the chat, in the live chat, the link is also in the description wherever you're watching, whether you're watching on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching that, the link is over there. So this is Namita Purohit signing off, and I am so grateful to you all for being here. I see Banak Nidhi Pradhan, Shivani Agrawal, Facebook user, Rafael, and a few more people who did send in some comments and greetings. And thank you that you all were here. I'm missing Anil Agarwal. He's always there for all the lives. And if you hear this, Anil ji, I send you my greetings. Yeah. Bye bye.